them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Tell them, respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here and belong. You are go surprise to want see you feel. Take me advice, man, me did just a cool for a bit. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That wonderful who taught me the quit. When them know what me start this shit. Me a the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. The people them ready with a style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya.
Some couples launching it.
Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Look how long me a style. And when me no sing songs for a while, me have so much hits. I beat them like a child. And me real in the streets. Wanna check me profile. And me never switched. K-R-A-E all the while. I fast than a who boost them. They must don't know about me. Let me tell you about fake friends. When I know about loyalty, me watch them, me not trust them. Cause them not like me. Them still can't do it like me. All the fight, them all a fight me. The people, them ready for the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Tell them, respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here and belong. You are go surprised to want see you feel. Take me advice, man, me did just a cool for a bit. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That wonderful who taught me the quit. When them know what me start this shit. Me a the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. And the people them ready for the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. The people them ready for the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Tell them.
Oh, why the color of that looks like that? Good afternoon, and I welcome you to Working for You. I am Lesroy Williams. Thank you very much for joining us for today's program. We continue to appreciate your company from week to to week. Today we are going to be discussing a very important topic, that of banking. And today I have with me representatives from the leading bank in the Federation, the St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla National Bank. Of course, banking in this environment in which we find ourselves, that of the COVID-19 pandemic, has brought about some challenges, of course, to banking, and how banks have been forced to improvise, how they have been forced to actually change the way that they do business. So COVID-19 has had quite an impact on the banking sector. It has generated significant instability and high volatility in global capital markets. While the full impact is yet to be determined, it is expected that the adverse impacts are likely to continue from the virus knock-on effects. Of course, one of the things that banks have to do is that of how they manage, of course, customer service, public relations, because banking behavior on a whole, because of the COVID-19, is changing. Today I have with me Mr. Anthony Morton, who is the Executive Manager of Marketing at the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. Mr. Morton, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Williams, and thank you for that welcome.
Of course, we will be having another guest from the National Bank who will be joining us, and she is Nikita Liebert, who is electronics banking representative at the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. She will be with us shortly. Now, Mr. Morton, of course, you are the marketing manager. Let me put it in the fancy way that I have it here. The executive manager of marketing at the National Bank. So you play a key role in terms of marketing the bank's policies, marketing the bank's modus operandi, their programs, and you know, whatever they have that is innovative and all of that to improve, of course, yes, you know, the bank's operations. Now, we are operating in very extraordinary, let me put it that way, circumstances. And COVID-19 has had a tremendous impact on the banking sector. And it has changed payments and banking behaviors, of course. Let me hear you tell us in your introduction.
Thank you for that. I want to first start by saying once again, good day to you, Mr. Williams. Good afternoon to your listeners and viewers both locally and abroad. I first want to thank you for allowing National Bank to be a part of today's show. Let me start by asking God to continue to bless you and to keep you safe so that you can continue hosting this wonderful show working for you, which is a tremendous medium utilized by so many of us to share and discuss meaningful subjects and topics that are relevant to the people of this great federation. The last time that I was here, National Bank launched two very important home mortgage programs called the National Pride and National Grad. If you recall, these mortgages provide opportunities for first-time homeowners to realize their dreams in owning their home. National Bank has been on a journey to provide financial solutions to empower and enrich our customers. Since 1971, when we opened our doors as a penny bank, our journey is interwoven with our people. As our customers achieve and progress to build a better life for themselves, we were right there with them. So too have we grown with assets that started at EC 250,000 in 1971 to reach heights of almost 4 billion EC dollars. Next year, National Bank will celebrate our 50th anniversary, to which we're very excited. This is an indication of our commitment to financial excellence, but most importantly, a testament to our loyal customers. And for this, we at National Bank thank you. Mr. Williams, during these 49 years, National Bank has been fully committed to nation building. We align ourselves with initiatives that brighten our future, for assisting with refurbishing several primary school libraries, to donating computers and assisting with the setup of computer rooms in our schools, to title sponsorships of many supporting leagues and events, to assisting with many cultural events and the iconic music festival. We are also very proud of the vast amount of sponsored community initiatives. This is why when we say, when you bank at National, you invest in your future.
Right. Mr. Morton, thank you very much for that introduction. Now, Mr. Morton, COVID-19 has changed banking behaviors. It has changed, or it has impacted, consumer behavior globally on a whole, as many consumers were forced to work from home, financial institutions, and so on. And people worried about everything touched by others because of the pandemic and this insidious virus, the silent enemy, invisible enemy, if we want to refer to it as that. And so now people are concerned in terms, yes, we have to bank, but how can we do so safely? Because, of course, a health and an environment factor. Now, what has the bank done in terms of rethinking its strategy during the post-COVID-19 to assist with people's concerns and so on with respect to the COVID-19 pandemic? What new initiative have you come up with?
Well, I thank you for that, Mr. Williams, and I will start by saying that you're so correct in everything you said in terms of the devastation throughout the world that COVID-19 has caused. As it relates to initiatives that we have put together, we want to speak today to you especially about cashless SKN. And cashless SKN is powered by National Bank. It is a fast, effective, and convenient form of banking. With the use of our mobile banking platform, our customers can easily access their accounts to check their balances, transfer funds, and pay their bills. Customers can also use any of their National Bank cards to purchase goods and services locally. And here's the key, without waiting in long ATM lines to access cash. So, in a nutshell, cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. And we are proud at National Bank to bring this to the forefront. You may ask, well, what is the rationale?
What is the rationale behind it? That was precisely my next question.
As you would have indicated, the coronavirus crisis, which has decimated every economy globally, has naturally reduced the company's financial performance forecasts for the remainder of 2020 into 2021. At National, we had to rethink the bank's strategy during and post-COVID. And this new strategy mandated a heavy concentration in digitalization to provide convenient banking for our customers. So now we are focused on boosting lifetime product value and customer-centric experiences through the increased use of digital platforms and bank card usage for our customers. I'm sure you would recall, it only happened a few months ago, during the 24-hour and limited lockdown periods, persons in St. Kitts and Nevis were unable to access critically needed products and services without having to wait in extremely long lines. As a result, cashless SKN was created by National Bank to educate our customers about the seamless, secure, and convenient experience of using their bank cards and mobile banking. We refer to it as mobile banking for their everyday needs as opposed to cash. And with mobile banking from the comforts of their home, on the go, at ZIZ Studio, and so on.
Okay, so cashless SKN is a new initiative, of course, intended to assist with banking, especially in this new environment of COVID-19, to make banking seamless, safe,
yes,
convenient.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, it has always been there, but I think COVID-19 has heightened the need to make our customers more aware of these electronic banking services. I'm sure you would see them like I would every Friday, persons standing in long lines to access cash. But there's no need to do that when you have our mobile banking app to do certain things like pay your bills, etc. And instead of going to the ATM lines to access cash to go to the supermarket, just use your National Bank debit card and swipe or insert or tap. These days, you can tap your card next to the machine. You don't even have to give the card to the cashier. You can tap the card, so you don't have to worry about, well, I wonder if her hands may be clean.
Have we arrived there yet?
We are there.
In terms of tapping?
Yes, it's currently available.
It is.
And Mrs. Lightbud, I'm sure, could speak to that as she uses it. I use it as well at various supermarkets. And we're excited to bring you these sort of innovations, especially in light of the COVID pandemic.
Right, but what are some of the, I'm interested in knowing the benefits, Mr. Morton, of using the debit card as opposed to using cash.
Well, when you use your debit card, it saves you time. There's no need to wait in long ATM lines to, again, withdraw cash to pay your bills or purchase goods or services locally. You have better record keeping of your spending habits. You may, on a weekend, for example, have $500 in your pocket on Friday. On Monday morning, it's gone, and you wonder, where did it go? You're able to access, using our mobile app, the last 90 days transactions. You could pull it up and see. So you have better record keeping of your habits. The card, very importantly, is replaceable if it's lost or stolen. I'm sure if you lost $500 cash, if you can get that back in some sort of lost and found, that would be a tremendously rare scenario. But your card is replaceable if it's lost or stolen. And I mentioned the feature of the contactless at the supermarkets right now. And there's so many other, but these are the main features that we want to highlight today. We could be here for quite a bit of time explaining some more, but those are some of the things. It saves you time, better record keeping, it's replaceable if the card is lost or stolen. And there's so much more that we could speak about, like I said.
Right.
But I want to give you some scenarios of why we think cashless SKN is so important. We have two customers of ours, one living in Newcastle, Nevis, the other in St. Paul's in St. Kitts. And these two persons want to pay their skillet bill, they want to pay their water bill, they want to pay their mobile banking bill. So they either jump on a bus or they jump in their car. They burn the gas to come to town or they pay their fee to come to town. It takes them some time to get there. They then have to wait in an ATM line to access the cash. And after receiving the cash, withdrawing the cash, they then have to go over to those same three companies and stand in long lines. And right now, due to the social distancing policy, you're outside in the hot sun, you're waiting for an extraordinary amount of time that you really would want to. And then you pay. But we feel here that your time is priceless. Imagine, if you will, those same persons having our mobile banking app. We have up to 19 companies to which you can pay your bills. And we will share some of those later. But in a matter of 5 minutes or less, you can go onto your app. We have such features to where you can use your fingerprint to access your account, or you could put in your password, and you pay those same bills in less than 5 minutes. And you're done. And then you could move on to do those things that you prefer to do. Because we at National, we think your time is priceless, and we value that. I want to give you another example. You are going out with your significant other on a Friday night. You want to take in a movie. You're thinking after that you may do some dinner. And as time would permit now, we are going until 2 a.m., the curfew that is. You may decide to take in some entertainment on our world-famous Frigate Bay Strip. And long before, you had to make sure you walk with cash to get into Caribbean cinemas. There's no more need for that. You can now swipe your card at Caribbean cinemas. I know that so many persons could relate to, at a particular time of the night, you may not feel safe or secure in going to an ATM. There's no need to do that anymore. And when you go on to dinner, you use your card, you pay, and so forth. All the vendors or businesses on the strip also accepts cards. So these are the essence of what cashless SKN is about. We're educating National Bank's customers about the ease, convenience, and security of conducting transactions without having to use cash.
Right, so less and less cash
necessary to walk around within your pocket, and safer, secure, convenient, and fast.
Right. Now, with people beginning to settle into what their new normal, quote unquote, might be, National Bank is demonstrating as a financial institution that it must do the same. Now, one of the ways, of course, you touched on it, some of the vocabulary that really comes out of the terminology out of this pandemic. You spoke about social distancing. You spoke about that. And distribution, financial institutions are realizing as well that sometimes customers, because of the social distancing requirements and all of that, are not able to visit banks.
Yes.
Or branches.
Correct.
And so therefore, this is even one more reason why we hear about electronic banking and mobile banking and so on. Thank you very much, Ms. Liebert, of course, for joining us on this program. And you are the electronics banking representative. I mean, electronic banking has been there before the coronavirus.
Yes, it has.
But of course, now we're seeing, how useful it can be, especially at this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, could you just tell us a little bit in terms of what is mobile banking, or some people call mo banking? What is it?
Okay, so mobile banking, or mo banking, as it is affectionately called at times, is a service provided by St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited to our clients to remotely process transactions at their convenience through the use of their mobile phones, tablets, or even a desktop. Though it's called mobile banking, persons may think that it's not accessible through a desktop, but it is. As the world moves from the initial shock of the COVID-19 pandemic into a more steady state of new reality, National Bank has taken steps to educate and to build our customer awareness about our electronic banking solutions. These solutions allow our customers to utilize remote, convenient, and secure avenues to conduct their banking business without having to physically visit the bank or any of our branches. This also promotes and ensures the social distancing protocols and safety measures, to ensure that they are practiced and followed accordingly. So the mobile banking has a wide range of features that can be accessed through our website by visiting www.sknanb.com or by downloading the app from our Google Play Store or the App Store for persons who have iOS. And basically, to gain access to the service, you must complete an application form, which can be submitted either online via email e-banking at SKNANB, or you can deliver the application to any of our branches for processing.
Okay. Now, Ms. Liebert, what are some of the main features of mo banking?
Okay, so main features of mo banking. We have the intra-transfers, which means you'll be transferring between your accounts, provided that you have more than one account. Many of us have probably a savings and a checking. It's standard for persons to have those two accounts. We also have what we call the peer-to-peer payments. I will speak a little more on the peer-to-peer a little later on. We also have bill payments. We can do checkbook requisitions. You can also send us a secured message, report your cards lost or stolen. Mr. Morton would have made mention of, walking around with your card instead of cash, which is more secure. And in the event that is lost, misplaced, stolen, you have an avenue to report that. So you're secure. The same can be said for checks in the event you wrote a check and maybe your recipient would have misplaced a check, or maybe you yourself would have written a check to yourself, it's signed and so on, and you don't want that to get in the hands of anyone else. So you also have the option to process what we call a stop payment on that check. You can also set alerts on your mobile banking. That means basically if you want to keep a track of your account, you're using your card on a daily basis for different things, and you want to ensure that you have sufficient funds. Or you just want to make sure that your card isn't being used by anyone else. You set your alert so you'll be notified almost immediately of the transaction that would take place on your account. And one new added feature that we have is the forgot password feature. Basically, our customers can now reset their own password, which I'm sure it's a reliever, especially if you're on the weekend, on a holiday. I mean, we just had our long August weekend a few weeks ago. So imagine being out of touch with your account for 3 to 4 days. I mean, that can be a bit scary for some persons.
Right. Now, one of the questions that I have, well, I have several, but...
I know you have several, but everything that Ms. Liebert mentioned is about banking without having to come to the bank. I would speak to my friends and family in North America who would indicate I have not been in my bank in the last 5 years. We are saying to you at National that even though we would love to see you, and we appreciate you as a customer, we know there are other things that you would rather do than to come and stand up outside of a line on Central Street, at the Pelican Mall branch in Sandy Point or in Charlestown. You rather do other things other than standing there to access your cash. So a person with a passbook, for instance, cannot do a transaction, they cannot conduct a transaction without coming into the bank to access cash by their passbook account. So they're very limited. And so Ms. Libert is indicating that you can conduct all these things. You can place a stop on a check without coming into the bank. If you want to pay for your mortgage with us, you could send a secure message and say, to one of our representatives that you want to pay your mortgage. And I especially like the alert, and persons would love this. When you can set up alert for various things, but one of them would be if your salaries hit your account, an alert can be sent. So when funds are credited to your account, an alert can be set up. When funds are debited from your account, you can have an alert set up as well. So you don't have to go to the ATM if you don't want and embarrass yourself when you find out why there's no money there. These alerts could be set up to let you know, give you better oversight of your account. A very long time ago, we used to have a rotary phone. And from these rotary phones in our homes, we got touch screen phones and stuff like that. Then we went on to flip phones, cell phones. Then we now have smartphones. The journey that National Bank is taking our customers on is to take you from out of what we call an analog age, maybe the days of the Flintstone days. And not many people, persons, have a rotary phone still in their home. They have migrated to the cell phone. And as a result of this smartphone, you're able to call your loved ones on WhatsApp and see people you haven't seen for years, and it's common now. We want to take you from the passbook era of banking into the mainstream modern-day banking by not having you come to the bank to do all these wonderful things. And a key to this, you might say, well, how much does it cost? Well, I'll wait for you to ask me. I won't say it yet. I will let them be, it's free. Most of these transactions, of all these transactions, you want to pay your bill, it's free. You want to transfer funds from your account to, you may have mutual accounts. You want to change and transfer funds that way, it's free. You want to transfer funds to a loved one. I have a very good friend from Sandy Point. His son is off to school in Taiwan. The son has mobile banking with us, and the father has mobile banking. He's able to, using the pay-a-peer, which is a feature that Ms. Leiber just mentioned, transfer funds to someone else without a cost. He doesn't have to go to Western Union. He doesn't have to go to any other of these money transfer places and pay very high exorbitant fees. Use your National Bank mobile banking platform and transfer the funds. And there's so much more. So we're here to educate our customers.
So there's no fee whatsoever for these wire transfers?
The wire transfers, that's different. So there are fees for the wire transfers, but what we are specifically speaking to are what we call peer-to-peer transfers. So the peer-to-peer transfers or your intra-account transfers, those are totally free.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, last week I had on my program some people talking about robotics. And one of the questions I asked them, so with all these robots and so on, you really would have less need for human beings being employed in industries.
True.
Now, with all this mobile banking and cashless transactions and all of that sort of a thing, of course then, it would eventually mean that you would have less persons working in banks. If you are going to have less people, less customers coming into the bank, coming into the branch, then it simply means that you would have less people working in the bank to deal with customers. So it's going to cut down on the number of persons that the bank employs. So it's going to affect, in a certain way, employment at the bank. It's going to create less employment with people going mobile and people going cashless and all of that sort of a thing.
Well,
now, what impact really? Go ahead, because this is somehow talking about all these things. Is really there's a shift from the traditional way of banking, and now we have more innovative ways in which people are now banking.
Correct. And you made a very good point, but the way in which we look at it, if you see how there's an area in California called Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley was created for technology companies, where there were jobs created before in that based on the demand for online platforms and technology companies and so forth. Here we have an entire, you could say, a city created just to deal with this sector. What it would mean at National Bank is that persons would have to evolve and get more innovative in terms of their learning and their skill sets to take on the new demand that is now there and required by this sort of an era. So I wouldn't necessarily say that there would be much less need for employees. It would mean that we would have to shift our experiences now towards the areas of banking that require support in these more innovative and digitally oriented platforms and ways. And so in rely our ability as humans to evolve to meet the demand that these new sectors, these new exciting sectors provide. Business analytics, who's using what, where are they getting this information from? There will be now need for more persons to do more business analysis of our customers for what they use. So where we have been operating perhaps in a dark or in a vacuum, now because of demand for these areas, persons now will be hired to become more business analysts to be able to give us that kind of information. It would then mean that there will be more persons have to be more digitally savvy with online platforms. Electronic banking would have to be increased because the demand by our customers, and there's tremendous demand now.
So that department would have to hire more people.
Correct.
The
So
mobile
we'll just be
banking
shifting.
unit.
Correct. So we're going to take persons from filling out a paper voucher, which is where we would have started in 71, into doing it more electronically. And that's all it simply means.
Right.
I would have highlighted some of the benefits to our consumers and customers. I think there's tremendous benefits for our businesses, and especially our small businesses, because the larger business would have already recognized the benefits of a more electronically oriented type of banking experience. So what are some of the benefits to our small business owners? It will save our business owners time that they take, say, every Monday to travel with all this cash they may have made over the weekend, over a period of time, to deposit these funds in a bank. They have to stand in a line to deposit these funds. And this time aspect and security aspect to travel must be taken into consideration. It gives our small businesses, if you incorporate and use, for example, our point of sale services, which allow customers to swipe more, that's less cash for you to handle. And once you are allowing your customers to swipe their cards, it gives you better management of what we call the inflows, which are the sales, and the outflows, which are the withdrawals you take from this account on a monthly basis. So you see, you better have oversight and visibility of your cash. It improves the business owner's credit worthiness to be able to obtain financial assistance. They're coming in for a loan. Mr. Williams, you can't tell, me as a banker, man, I make $5,000 every 2 weeks and I have to take your word for that. But if you are depositing your funds more by way of using our point-of-sale machines. We have a record as well, a running record of the history of the performance of your company. So when you say, I need X amount of money, I need a credit line to be able to purchase stuff in advance. And when you purchase in advance, you get better deals. So the margins are better for you. This is also a benefit to small businesses. And one of the most exciting things that I like to share is our electronic funds transfer services, which you have persons now who are still being paid by check. And then when you pay an employee by check, they need time to go and cash their check before the bank is closed. That's time away from your business, that they could be more productive on the job. So if you're electronically transferring their wages to their account, there's no more need for you to have this blank time where your staff isn't being as productive as they could be for the business. So it's a win-win for our customers, and it's a win-win for our small business persons who are still, again, working and operating in a sort of analog age when there's so much more efficient ways to conduct business right now.
Right. Okay, so, Ms. Liebert, how can a person sign up for mobile banking?
Okay, so persons can sign up for mobile banking pretty much in two ways. We, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have allowed our clients to access the form from the website, which is www.sknanb.com. You will then select mobile banking, and you will select learn more under the mobile banking. Then a form will appear. You'll select sign up. The form is fillable, so you can input your information. Maybe you don't have a legible handwriting, so you'd want to, or it's easier for you to type the information in. So you can type in the information, print that form, and then sign, and then you will email it to ebanking@sknanb.com. So that's one way. The second way is you can either collect the form from the branch or print the form and deliver it to any of our branches for processing. So either way, you would get the access within 24 hours time.
I want to highlight that first option to you. And that first option is the ability for our customers to go on our website, access the form, fill the form. We ask you to print it so that you could sign it. We need to know that it's an official request from yourself. And then email it back to us, and within 24 working hours, we will send you a notification with your temporary password so you could start conducting mobile banking online. I actually help someone from the Lamberts area, set up their account this morning. And it's exciting to me because I met the gentleman outside of the branch of the bank on Central Street. And why are you standing in line? Man, I'm here to get some cash to pay my bills there down at one of the local mobile companies. I said, but do you know you can use our mobile banking platform to do the same thing? Because after you collect the cash here, and he's waiting outside to go in another line inside, once you get into the bank, you're not directly going to the teller, you know. Right. You're waiting outside in a line to go inside, to wait again, to access your cash, to go and stand outside of whether it's digital or flow, to go inside and wait again. That's a lot of waiting. And we're saying your time is priceless. Use mobile banking. And he signed up, and he was able to conduct his first payment today.
Right. Now, one of the questions that people might have is mobile banking safe? Is it safe? So, for example, I have the app on my phone because it's done through an app, and I happen to lose my phone. Someone breaks into my phone. Will they be able to access my information?
Okay, so
suppose I have my password and all of that saved, and I don't know. I'm just asking. How safe is it?
So mobile banking, it's safe. I would say it's very safe. Yes, though the person may be able to see your accounts because you would have saved your passwords and so on, it's accessible. The most they can do is to transfer monies from one account to the next. Your mobile ID, it's safe. You can actually change your mobile ID. So that's something that we encourage persons to do as well, provided they do remember their mobile ID. If not, they can always contact us. As it relates to the EFT payments, Mr. Morton would have spoken to making EFT payments, and that's basically done through a secured message. Now, a request coming to our department, we don't just process a request. So persons may become creative. I mean, it's a time where, everybody's in shock and funds are low because, of the layoffs, the reduced working hours and so forth. But no, we have a callback procedure that we must follow each time a request is made. So I know persons may say, oh, it's an app, it's something that's downloaded. Persons may have my phone, all those things. No, it's safe.
Right. It's to give people that guarantee, because I know we're talking about cashless transactions and all of that sort of a thing. But there's still a group of people who, with all of this technology, all of this advancement, and so on in banking, there's still a certain question that remains. How safe is it? Because people are stealing all kinds of things online. They're stealing information. They're stealing identities. They're finding ways and so on to get into people's accounts and all of that sort of a thing. And of course, it is a legitimate concern that people have.
Right.
Online theft and all of that.
And because of that, National Bank would have noticed this, and what we would have included is what we call a multi-factor security feature.
Two-factor authentication?
Right, that's correct. So it's not just you putting in a password and getting in there. So
you have to go to something else.
Right. So
and put
you'll
another
get
password
a verification code and so forth. So unless you have all of your information out there and everything is totally open, there is no way persons can just simply access your mobile banking account.
Okay. You were going to say something, Mr. Anthony?
No, Mrs. Leibel took the words right out of my mouth.
She took the word
Literally.
out. Okay, so this time of innovation, banking innovation and so on, really is a time to embrace change.
It really is, and I would have given the analogy about the digital or rotary phones and the journey that has come that way. We, in our case, in the banking sector, we are looking at persons who have passbooks, and we still honor and appreciate those persons because in certain instances we recognize that some persons are their things boilerplated into their behavior and their patterns right now that wouldn't change. But for the rest of our customers, which is the majority of our customers, we're here to educate them on all the different seamless, convenient, and secured, and especially fast ways that they can conduct banking without entering the doors of National Bank at home, at their convenience. You're on the go, the borders are now open, and you're at the airport. I forgot to pay my bill. You can do that from the airport. There's so many different things. You need to transfer funds from your savings account to your checking because you normally pay your various bills from this account, or something is debited from that account. You could transfer funds between your accounts without a cost. Some loved one that you have abroad needs some funds, and your college students always need funds. I'm not going to highlight them alone. It could be that you have a sort of small little business going. I know a friend of mine or someone who sells hair, and she's in Nevis, and most of our clients are in St. Kitts. There's no need to send cash on the boat. You transfer funds using what we call our peer-to-peer, and there's no cost for that as well. So there is quite an array of features that are there. You need to stop a check. You can do that using our mobile device. You want to pay a loan, you could send us a secure message. And the idea is your time is priceless. We have fast, efficient, and secure means of conducting business, your banking business, without standing in these banking lines to get access to your funds.
Right. Now, in terms of the pay-a-peer transfer, is there a limit on how much you can transfer?
Okay, on a daily basis, there is no overall limit, but in terms of transferring, there is. So let's say you want to transfer $3,230 and let's say 75 cents. You'd have gone to your mechanic and that's your bill. You can do that, just not at once. So you'll have to perform about 4 transactions because the max per transaction is $1,080. So you need to do 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and the $230 thereafter.
Okay, so you'll have to do several transactions.
Yes.
So there's no limit.
There is no limit.
But so you can do those several transactions in one day.
That's correct.
So they will get them in installments.
Right.
Okay. What about the bill payments? Is there a limit to bill payments?
Okay, so the bill payments, you can make bill payments up to 5,000 EC dollars. So let's say you have a SKNIS bill and you $4,800. You can actually make that payment.
I wish not to have such a bill.
I didn't want to say it, but I was wondering what were you still doing with current in your house? But it's limitless in terms of the way in which you can conduct business, paying your bills, transferring funds, and we're excited about that. And very key to that is, I just want to draw a scenario to you. You're paying 3, 4, 5 different bills. You're going to drive around town and burn gas, and then burn gas again in terms of using your vehicle to go home or wherever you have to go, when you can use mobile banking without a cost, without a fee, and pay those same bills. It's a win-win situation, and we're really happy to bring you cashless SKN, powered by National Bank.
Right. Now, in terms of the bill payments, when you make a bill payment, say for example, I'm paying my SKNIS bill or my cable bill, how long does it take for that payment to be applied to the company, for example?
Okay, so you're speaking about
the bill,
the bill itself.
Yes, the bill.
Okay, so provided that your payment is processed, like you go to your account, you actually enter the bill information and you do the payment. That is, once you do it before 11 p.m. weekday, it's sent over to the merchant the very next business day. So we can't apply it to your bill specifically because we don't know what your bill is.
Right.
But we will ensure that the merchant has your information the very next business day.
Right.
What if it's done prior to 2 p.m.?
If it's done prior to 2 p.m., it's still sent over next business day.
Okay.
So you try not to do it on the weekends. What if it's done on the weekend?
If it's done on the weekend, it's sent over Monday.
It goes into Monday.
Right. So if it's done on Saturday or Sunday, it goes over on Monday.
Okay, suppose I want to transfer some money from my savings account to my credit card account, for example, and I do it on Friday night. Will that payment be applied the following day, or will I have to wait until Monday?
You'll have to wait until Monday.
Until Monday.
Right, because your credit card, which is your black card, it is treated as a bill, and the payments will be reflected on your black card account on Monday.
So intra-account transfers that's the same thing that applies.
So
No.
In terms of time, or there's a difference?
No, there is a difference. So your intra-account transfers, so let's say you, for some reason, don't have your card with you and you have your checkbook. You can simply write a check. Let's say you're grocery shopping on Saturday. You can write a check, and just to ensure it's covered, you log on to your mobile banking and you do what we call an intra-account transfer. So that's moving monies from your savings account to your checking account. And that is immediate. That's done immediately. So there's no way you can say, okay, oh gosh, I forgot to cover the check, and incur that fee for overdrawing your account and so forth. So you transferring from one account to the next is immediate. The same as the peer-to-peer transfers. So let's say, again, our females, we like to go to our nail techs and so on. And maybe I forgot my purse for some reason. I don't know how I forget my purse, but I did. But I have my phone because I'm probably more attached to my phone. And I'm like, girl, I forgot my purse. I don't have the cash. You have mobile banking? Yes. You simply add her as a peer and you do the transfer. So let's say it's $80, transfer, $80, nails done, nail tech paid.
Right. Now, while we are talking about all of this seamless banking and cashless transactions and credit cards and debit cards and mobile banking and electronic banking, whatever you want to call it, the very fact of the matter is that there are a number of business owners in St. Kitts and Nevis who do not accept bank cards. They don't have that means of doing business. They don't have, things where you can swipe cards and push cards in, where they chip and put in number and all of that sort of a thing. Now, it would appear from my thinking that these business owners stand to lose or stand to be at a disadvantage because they are not a part of this whole innovative way of doing business. Mr. Morton.
And from the front side of that, it would appear that way. But we are championing the cause of introducing, and this is why I highlighted a bit earlier, what are the benefits to small businesses of why you should receive a point-of-sale machine to allow persons to swipe. It's safer for you. It's safer for them. You had a tremendously successful weekend, and you would have grossed or accumulated quite a bit of sale. Now you have all this cash on you. You have security issues, your concerns, and you also have to spend some time to go down to the bank on Monday to make sure you deposit these funds. And the point-of-sale solution is one solution that we have for our customers. So we are championing the cause to get this good news out to our merchants as well. And this is an area that I literally pulled up in front of my screen to sort of focus on our business owners, to get them to move again from that sort of analog and old antiquated way of doing business and thinking I must have all this cash in my pocket. But all this cash in my pocket has tremendous risk elements that surrounds that. And we all know what they are. To the point of you have all this cash in your pocket every weekend, and this is a big thing about being credit worthy. But then by the start of the following weekend, you're not sure where the cash went. But it's gone. If you had deposited the funds in the bank would have a history of what the capabilities of your businesses are. So we know, based on a trend of over a period of time, that your business is able to generate X amount of revenue or sales. We can look at that as an opportunity to look at targeting you if you want financing for something in the future. But we are championing the cause of getting this good news out to our small businesses, so they could be a part of the cashless SKN movement.
Mm-hmm. Of course, not all small businesses will be able to take advantage of that. For example, the man who is simply selling, it's a business, he's selling his barbecue on the Bay Road. He has his barbecue stall, or he's selling peanuts and so on. You know, they still have to go, of course, the cash way.
I beg to differ.
You beg to differ.
And the pay-a-peer solution that we have is something that could be used. So let's draw a scenario, for example, that I have a famous jerk chicken that you like to enjoy on a Friday, and here you are. You forgot to you didn't have any cash on you, but you have your phone on you, and you have mobile banking. And I happen to be a part of the largest banking customer base in the Federation. So I'm a member of National Bank as well. And I have mobile banking. As Ms. Libert would have indicated, you can say, well, boy, I don't have the cash, but I have mobile banking. Do you? And I would say yes. You can transfer the fund instantly. Now, here's the other good part that she also mentioned. You will get an alert because you can set up your mobile banking for when funds leave your account. You get an alert when your funds are debited from your account. I will get an alert because I've set up the alert as well, because I want to make sure you pay me. You can't tell me you pay me, and I don't have any way of proving that. I will set up an alert for when the credit hits my account, and it's almost instantaneous where we both get these alerts. And there goes the transaction right there. There are ways and means to do it. I think for every vendor that are on the street, and I support the small businessman on the road. I think they have a tremendous amount of talent in terms of the goods and services they provide. But we are moving the nation forward with cashless SKN. And as the People's Bank, there's no other better medium to go through the National Bank to get this message out. So we're proud to do that. There's a solution, and an electronic solution for every person in this federation that are customers of National Bank. And there goes the solution for the man on the street, because he does have an account with National Bank.
Yes. Now, these electronic things also work with internet, because, of course, and I have had more than enough troubles going to businesses, and you're swiping and you're inserting your card, and problems.
Well,
problems in terms of paying because the internet service is down, or something is just wrong. And it can be really frustrating because sometimes you don't have any cash on you.
It can be, and it would be. In my other life, I would address it from a telecom standpoint. But in this medium, I would say the solution for you is mobile banking, because everyone would have data on their phone, and using the pay-a-peer feature allows for instant funds to transfer from one account, from your account to my account, instant, as Ms. Libert indicated. And we both can have alerts set up so that you will get that alert and I will get that alert. So while the POS machine may not work due to the deficient service of internet, the mobile banking platform is also there. And that's why cashless SKN it's not just about the bank cards. It's not just about the mobile banking. It's all encompassing. It's about the employers who are paying using checks and should be using the digital means to transfer their funds using electronic funds transfer, and getting their employees funds in the bank directly, so the staff doesn't have to go to the bank to collect the money. So it's a very all-encompassing message that we have from National Bank and cashless SKN. We're excited about it.
Okay. Now, we'll go to the phone lines and to see if people have questions for National Bank, representatives from there. The numbers to call are 466-2666, that's 466-2666, 662-8674, 662-8674, 767-4765, 767-4765, and the international number is 1-239-645-4500. We welcome your calls.
Mr. Williams,
Sure.
I have to apologize for Ms. Libert, who had other banking duties she had to take care of, so she'll have to leave us.
Okay.
So you're stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to thank you, Ms. Libert, for coming and to share with us from an electronic banking standpoint all that you have today.
Sure. Well,
Right.
just before I leave,
Mhm.
I would just basically ask the general public, persons who have not enrolled or who have enrolled but would have forgotten they have enrolled, to make an effort to visit any of our branches and sign up for the service. More importantly, if it is that you cannot visit, we are really encouraging persons to use the online features. So I'll ask you to visit the website. Again, it's www.sknanb.com. You go to mobile banking, you'll select learn more, and then you select sign up. You fill the form, you sign the form, and you can email it to us at ebanking@sknanb.com. And
Right.
if you need any additional information, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Nakita Libert. You can reach me at 465-2204, extension 1110, or Nakita, that's NAKITAL, at sknanb.com, or ebanking@sknanb.com.
Thank you very much, Ms. Libert, for being with us and sharing, of course, on mobile banking or more banking. Thank you.
I just want to add to that, Mr. Libert, that persons could also visit our Facebook page and leave us an inbox message about the need to get their mobile banking account reactivated if they have an issue. This is a very accessible means that they have without coming to the bank to get a message to us, and within one working day we will have a response. If not that same day, we will have someone responding to your needs or queries by inboxing us on our Facebook page, and that's looking up National Bank, St. Kitts Nevis National Bank, Anguilla National Bank Limited, or SKNAMB as well.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Working for you, good afternoon.
Williams, how are you doing? Hello?
Working for you, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
Seems like
Hello?
we've lost that caller.
Hello? Hello?
Working for you, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, the volume is a bit low.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Good afternoon. Bucky got it medium. Good afternoon, Mr. Williams, and good afternoon to Mr. Anthony Morton. It's always good to see and hear from you, Mr. Morton. Always doing a good job in marketing and promoting wherever you go. Mr. Morton, one of the things I've found is that is getting senior citizens to go electronic. I would like you to know how is that stage going? Because I mean, trust me, I've tried to encourage senior citizens like, hey, it's important to get an ATM card. It's important to do this mobile banking. I mean, thank God the bank have a setup where senior persons no longer have to go in the same line like the younger ones. They're allowed to go in faster, but I found there still is a line. The other thing is that the pay up here is very, very good. And I want to encourage persons to, let me ask you, is there any limit to how many persons you can add to your pair? Because I start adding persons because I do business, and I found a lot of persons have national bank account, and I no longer have to wait on a check. They just pay me. I think some more need to be done though in terms of advertising, marketing the paper. It is very important, but a lot of persons don't know how because they don't understand what is the required information you need to put in, even though when you go and they say select a pair. So I think that you might want to go back to the drawing board and do maybe a little ad promoting the pay a pair, a part of it. Another thing quickly, so I can give persons chance in. Is there any charges in terms of I am an employer and I have 15 workers and I want to pay their salary through the mobile banking. Is there any charge for me as the employer to set up this account so my employees don't have to go inside the bank? These are some of the questions that persons want to ask. Maybe they're kind of shy away from going into the electronic banking because they think that there are charges or there are hidden charges. For example, sometimes you order something online and you didn't know that you have enough money in the account, and then you see a charge come on, so maybe you could highlight a bit on those transactions. But in a nutshell, in closing, keep up the good works. I see you are moving National Bank in the right direction.
Thank you very much for your call, Bucky. We do have another caller on the line. Working for you, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, I've been to pay my bill and I've noticed the operator telling me I have to pay a 4% charge for using the national card. How does that work out with what you're saying now?
Can you repeat that question again for me in terms of that 4% charge?
Yes. They said there's a service charge I have to pay for using my national bank card.
And this would be at where? At a business that you're paying a bill, or you?
Yes, at a business I'm paying a bill.
Well, let me first start by stating that the two providers of cards, both Visa and MasterCard, has policies that dictates and is very clear to merchants that utilize their platforms to accept payments that they cannot, and it's prohibited from charging any fees to utilize their card.
Okay, because I was very surprised. They said if I'm using the card, I should not be paying a fee. But that's what they told me.
Right. And you're a National Bank customer, of course, right?
Yes, I am.
Right. So what I would invite you to do is to give us a call and off air at some time, obviously, give us a call and tell us more specifically about this scenario. Or if you don't mind giving me your telephone number, I could then have the appropriate person reach out to you and we could get that information. So either you would like to call us offline in the bank at 465 2204.
Hold on. 465 2204
and extension 1401 1402.
1402. Okay, thanks very much for the information.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
I would like to respond to some of the comments that the first caller.
Yes, go right ahead.
And, I want to thank him for highlighting that. And we pride ourselves in the manner in which we provide service or preferential service to our senior citizens. And especially that was heightened during the initial stages and what we've been going through with COVID, that we created two different lines to allow access into all of our branches as well. Typically, we would also have put out information that said that during the hour of 8 to 9, only senior members of a customer base would be allowed into the bank if they are there, and then any other after that time. I think he also mentioned something about limitation and how many pairs he can add There's no limits in terms of that. He mentioned as well increasing the effort and in terms of letting the public know about these solutions. And this is exactly why we're here and working for you. And so we think that this show is the most listened to and viewed show. And these are one of the means. We have visited other stations and to get this word out, and we utilize our social media presence on very well followed. I think we have the most likes in our Facebook page, and we use other areas to get this message out by way of television to get this word out. But I could appreciate that Bucky has a tremendous following, and he's only expressing the concerns of his followers. So we will continue to fight a good fight in getting this message out about cashless SKN, because it's for everyone. National Bank is the people's bank. This message about cashless SKN, powered by National Bank, is for the people.
Right. And of course, with all our discussion about banking and innovation in banking, especially at this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, this type of banking and the embracing of it, the banking digitalization, mobile banking, electronic banking, whatever we want to call it, I think will continue way after the pandemic has gone.
I fully agree, and this is
because
why
it's about change in consumer behavior. And while our focus here, and we are talking about the customers, because you're all about marketing and into the customers and customer relationship. Customer relationship is also changing because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And banks now have to be using different marketing strategies in order to woo their customers. And if they don't, it means then that they might just have to go out of business, because it's about operational resilience as well. Banks staying in business, and for the customers, the ease of doing business, especially at this time.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's correct. I can say it no better. And I want to touch on something that the first caller said about senior citizens and embracing this new technology. And he's right in what he said. The scenario that I told you about where I helped the gentleman, he's a retired person. His daughter is who called and said she's setting up this thing for him. I gave him my number. He called me directly, placed her on the phone. I explained it to her, and she set up all the accounts. But I also let her know that, to let him know, anytime he needs assistance, that he can call on me. Because at National, we're always here. And there's no lip service to that. We are always here for our customers. And where I'm not there, there's so many other persons that are available to walk our customers who may have challenges with the digital platforms through the ease of doing business. But we also would have put out tutorial videos about some of the features that are also there. So you can visit our Facebook page at National Bank to see all the wonderful details and information that we have about cashless SKN and our mobile banking platform as well.
Right, because of course we have only touched the tip. This is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
In terms of how banking has been impacted because of the pandemic.
Okay.
We're here and we are speaking about how, especially National Bank can better relate to its customers making business easier and so on through mobile and other technological means. But at the very same time, this is only one area and the tip of the iceberg. But banks have been impacted in many other ways with the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes. We haven't really touched on things like profitability.
Right. Correct.
So banks would have been affected in terms of their profitability, their credit management, for example, and the cost of risk and so on. You hear now banks are saying we have to offer moratoriums.
Correct.
On people with mortgages and all of that sort of a thing. So it has affected banks financially.
Correct. And if we were to speak about that, we will be here for another working for you.
Right.
But you're so right in that we are the essence and a symbol of our community.
Right.
And as such, due to the negative fallout from COVID, banks on a whole had to put in place certain COVID support measures and programs to assist our customers, because we are nothing without our customers. In part of my introduction spoke to how we have grown as our customers, as citizens of the Federation, has grown since our humble beginnings in 1971.
Right.
But you are so correct in that our core banking products, our loans, our mortgages, our credit cards, we would have offered moratoriums since the ending of March, and in the first instance for 3 months. And now we have extended that for an additional 4 months to September. And during this time, while there are no inflows that are coming in the traditional sense, we would be facing a tremendous amount of challenges. So that's why we had to think and rethink how will we move, what will be our modus operandi moving forward during COVID and post. And cashless SKN was born out of that. And National Bank is proud to bring this message, because we are saying to, even though these solutions were already there, COVID has heightened the need to sensitize and educate and build awareness to our customers. And I think we're doing that. We're moving in the right direction. And we're glad to bring you this great message.
Right. And that is one of the ways, and you're so correct, Mr. Morton, that banks can manage the business impact that COVID-19 has created through customer service and advice provision, the provision of advice. I mean, there are other things, of course, which this program was not designed to treat with today.
Yes.
We are basically here in terms of customer service, marketing, in terms of ease of doing business, and so on. But as I said, banks have been impacted in many more ways. And of course, we've discussed how COVID-19 has changed payments and banking behaviors, because that is changing. It's a whole new banking culture.
It is.
that is being developed.
Yes.
And of course, we know that culture is something that is dynamic. It is not static. Culture is changing, and going forward, that will be, I think, long after the pandemic has gone, the banking culture that people are going to have to acclimatize themselves to.
Yes. I so think, and I'm glad and thank you for that. We at National believe that an educated consumer is our best customer. And this effort is about that. And cashless SKN is about bringing you that sort of information to educate our customers.
Right. And Mr. Mon, we have to be wrapping up now.
Yes.
Our time is expired. But the cashless SKN is the new lifestyle choice.
Powered by National Bank.
Powered by National Bank. A lifestyle choice. Those are strong words.
I concur. I concur. I just want to say in my closing words, again, in summary as I began, cashless SKN, for persons who tuned in late, is a fast, effective, and convenient form of banking. With the use of our mobile banking platform, our customers can easily access their accounts. Ms. Liebert would have indicated all the different ways in which you can bank from home, on the go, without having to enter the bank. You can use your various suites of national bank cards to purchase your goods and services locally with your debit card without cost. So I'm looking forward to hearing from the gentleman who would have called to hear what is the merchant or the person who is charging that fee. And all of this is accessible to you, your accounts, without having to wait in long lines. So I implore every one of our customers to find out more. If you want to know more, send us an inbox message to our Facebook page at SKNANB.com, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, and send us an inbox message that you're interested in online banking, you're interested in learning more, and we will gladly assist you in this area, because as I say, we value your time. We know your time is priceless. There's no need to stand or wait in long lines to access funds, to go about your business, to go about your day. We have the solution for you. It's brought to you by Cashless SKN, powered by National Bank. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Right, so COVID-19 has changed the way that people work, shop, socialize, do their banking, and make payments. While some consumers had already embraced digital options because they are not new, others have moved to digital options for the first time because of the pandemic. And as the pandemic continues, we will evaluate the long-term implications of these behavioral shifts. Mr. Anthony, thank you so much. Mr. Morton, Anthony Morton, thank you so much for being on our program today and sharing on such an important topic. How banking is changing. The culture of banking is changing for the better.
Thank you again, Mr. Williams.
Right.
Along with you.
You have been listening to another edition of Working for You. I want to thank all of our callers, all of our listeners to this Working for You program, who continue to listen from week to week as we provide you with pertinent and relevant information with respect to what is happening in St. Kitts and Nevis, with respect to the government, with respect to current affairs. And so thank you very much. We will be back next week, Wednesday, for another edition of Working for You. Until then, I am Les Roy Williams. Take care.